I will do bit butts.
Good morning. I am so sore today. I have learned that after all these years, and if Kyle says, "How are you?" from the last training session, and I say, "Oh, I feel great," he'll be like, "All right then, we'll see about that." My abs hurt, my arms hurt, my legs hurt. Oh, even my chest hurts. Usually I'm not really a breakfast girl. I used to be, and I know they say breakfast is important, but I don't know, my body doesn't want it. But apparently it's good to really start off your digestive system. So I saw this post where this girl recommended using flaxseed and 2 dessert spoons amount of flaxseed. And flaxseed is so high in fiber. And then add half a cup of water. And you can add some honey to it to give a bit of flavor if you want. I'm taking more of that traditional Chinese medicine advice, staying away from like cold stuff if I can, having warm. When I was younger, I used to be like, what is this rubbish? Now it's like, okay. It is a miserable day today. Ayla is off at dance. Isaac has a friend over for a play date, and I'm just making some lunch. RG has been working pretty late, and this week he's been coming home at like 12 midnight, and I never really think about this, but because he was getting back like later, I'd be asleep before he comes back. It really brought me back to when before he moved here, and how it would just be the kids and I was the only adult in the house. Yeah, I think it just made me realize how much I love having another adult in the house and having him around. So yeah, it's just little things you don't realize. But really glad to have him here because I'm making lunch for everyone. RG's gonna pick up Ayla for me, so for a while it wasn't like that. And that was okay too, but it's really nice that he's around now. I don't take it for granted. You know how I said I was so excited to go out, take pictures of whimsical cafes and shop fronts. Well, the ones near me are not that whimsical or cozy, unfortunately. So my friend Ali was working in London. She shared this cafe that was in front of her hotel, and I was like, oh my gosh, can you take more pictures for me? She is so sweet. She took different perspectives for me. Look at that. It's so cute. I've spent the past good hour sketching. I love these rubber pencils because sometimes when you rub, you can end up rubbing out a lot, but a rubber pencil really gives you that precision to rub without rubbing like something that you don't want to be removed. I think I'm happy enough to sketch. I'm just going to add the gate. I'm just going to make it like this. I'm using my Micron fine liner in number 2. I like using 03 as well. I had a lot of people ask about the fine liners that I use. Now I mentioned I do use some Micron fine liners. I use them all different sizes. My favorites are 2, 3, and also the brush liner. And they're great because even when you apply water or a watercolor on top of it, they do not run or smudge. And typically when you're doing the lines, at least for myself, I kind of like having the lines kind of wobbly, and I like to go over it more than once. I feel like it just gives it a bit more character, but obviously if your style is more precise, you can use a ruler. This is one of my more favorite parts of the process because since I've already done the sketch, I can really just zone out and just focus on going over the line. With any sketch, when you're going over the fine liner, is to go over the items at the front. But you can see I don't always follow the rules. So if you're just starting off, I definitely recommend following the rules, doing the items at the front, and making your way to the back. So I'm just gonna add just little indications of some slates here, not too much.
I'll give you a better picture.
Okay, I think we're ready to paint it. Good morning, everyone. It is just 5 to 7. I just prepped the kids' lunch boxes. I made myself some ginger tea. It's just got a few slices of ginger and half a teaspoon of honey. This time of the year, I get something called Raynaud's syndrome, which my feet get really cold, a very uncomfortable, painful cold. I'm hoping the ginger tea will help my body's circulation. Morning! So we have a vet appointment today. We're gonna drop the kids off today, take Dumbo to his vet, and then Dumbo and I are gonna go visit my granny for a couple hours.
She likes to come to Tesco's for her fish and chips. 如果婆婆你可以揀呢，你想在英國出還是在香港出嘅呀？
勁呀！
係啊，
喂，如果在英國嗰個，
係咩？真咪？
有紅嘅都是。
哦。She's too full on fish and chips.
而家即出咗啦，
好啊，OK，你攞出去俾我。
放嘅。
OK，熱燙椒啦。
日生要計喎。
冇計。
咦？
Just very forgetful lately. We just bought the groceries and I just put them in the fridge and she doesn't even remember that we just bought it. 呢種係白 tea 同啲 kitchen tea。Granny Bubs is good. She's in good health. She's in good form. She's happy. It's just for the past couple years, we sort of noticed her short-term memory starting to go. She asked me like a good 5 times if I wanted to have mooncake. Before we go groceries, I have to check the fridge to make sure we really are out of pork chops or whatever. I did a new move today. I checked the fridge, but I didn't check the freezer. And there is just way too much chicken. We would literally pick up some shampoo and then like a few minutes later she'll be like, oh, we need to get shampoo. I'm only coming up to 1, but I like to leave with plenty time to spare just because of the West Link. You never know if there's going to be traffic. I don't like to be too far from the kids when they're at school as well, just in case anything happens and they need me to pick them up. It's hard to believe that it's been half a year since Chubby left us, and since then he's honestly been my shadow. He's been everywhere with me. I love having my dog as my little sidekick. I love it so much. I don't have a lot of regrets in life, but my regret is I wish that I took my dogs everywhere with me. I really wish I did it more. I think back then my mindset was they had each other a home and I knew they were safe, but he just loves going everywhere with me, and I'm sure Chubby would have loved it too. Nonetheless, Chubby's with me all the time, I know that. I'm really digging the short hair. It's so easy to wash my hair. It's even easier to dry it. I wish I even cut it shorter. I actually wasn't able to touch this illustration until a good week after I did the ink for it, and I was really looking forward to sitting down and just coloring it in using my watercolor. Now, watercolor is one of those mediums I probably struggle the most with, but when it comes to doing simple illustrations, it works perfectly. This would be my second time attempting to draw and paint a shop front, and I've learned that there are ways to make it like a lot more charming, and that is by adding a little blackboard, maybe some table, chairs, a lamppost, pigeon. You can take or remove as much as you want because it is your painting. You can decide how you want it to look like. I had someone message me yesterday and she said she found it funny that I have so many like different styles. Like, it's so random, the art that I blast out, and it's really because I just love playing with different mediums. When I'm working with gouache, I tend to do more landscape work, and then when it's watercolor, it tends to be very illustrative, simple buildings. And when it's pastel pencils, it tends to be pet portraits. But yeah, I don't really have a favorite medium. Just depending on the artwork, I choose what medium I want to use. I like to play with a bit of everything. So yeah, in this building above the shopfront, there actually is like quite a big window. But I just thought there was already so much going on. I really wanted to keep the shopfront its focal point, but like I said before, it's up to you what you add and remove. So after applying the base colors, now we just add the shadow, and this just helps to make everything look less flat. Sometimes the watercolor
goes over the fine line ink liner that I added before, so I just go over again. I love to use the micron ink liners. I have them in all different sizes. At this point, I'm just refining the painting, and sometimes it's just hard to stop because you feel like you can just keep going and going and going. I always love to finish off with a white gel pen, just to add some highlights and texture, making dashes here and there. I am using some of that gold pen for the pumpkin, just to give it a nice sheen. That might be pretty, I thought. So it's into the cover, so it's shielded from damage, but yeah, and we're done.